All right, guys. So chapter 1 is on where you work. You got your 4 medical terms written down. The first thing we're going to talk about is what is long-term care. When it comes to long-term care, what you will often see is an acronym, capital L, capital T, capital C, that represents long-term care. Long-term care is caregiving over a long time on a daily or ongoing basis. If you feel like you can't remember that, I want you to write that down. You do have multiple types of long-term care facilities. You have hospitals, home health agencies, clinics, mental health centers, hospices, and also alcohol and drug facilities. Now, gerontology is the study of older adults. I'm sorry, you guys. This Ruthie. I'm okay. $11. What time are you gonna be coming through? Yeah, you gonna do that. Okay. Bye. So, I'm sorry, you guys. I do have these because some people are visual learners, and oftentimes I say stuff and y'all be lost in the sauce. So gerontology is the study of older adults. LTC, long-term care. That's caregiving over a long period of time on an ongoing basis, okay? Now, with the multiple types of nursing facilities, you have nursing homes, convalescent homes, assisted living, rehab centers, and also residential care facilities. Now, in all of these facilities, they have one thing in common. Care is being provided, medical care. Now, y'all see where it says medical care in the book? What page is that on? It's still on 2, okay? So residents, everybody in the building is under the care of a doctor. When I say that, what's meant is you cannot just feel like, hey, you're taking care of mom at home and it's becoming not an inconvenience, but it's difficult for whatever reason, and you want her to go into a facility. That's not how it works. Mom has to have a physical order written by a doctor or provider stating that she needs care, okay? So she has to have an order to be there. Once the order is written, that's when the physician and also the other team members are going to become responsible for mom's plan of care, okay? That's called her POC. Within that facility, you do have a chart and a care plan. The care plan, it lists the residents' strengths, their goals, and their problems. The chart, it has all other information in it. And you guys are going to learn that the chart is going to become cumulative, which means it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Because over a period of time, we tend to have issues as we get older. Or everyday life, we have issues, and those things have to go on the chart. Nursing services. Nursing services is something that's provided in a facility, and that includes assessment, coordination of care, treatment, and also medication administration. When I say medication administration, according to CMS guidelines, the only person who can administer medication in a building is a licensed nurse, okay? You have to be licensed to administer medication. Sometimes you have to be licensed to put on shampoo or cream. You know why? It's strength. It had medicine in it, right? And that's what CMS, they mandated, okay? Personal care. Personal care is care that's given to a resident who needs help on a daily basis with daily activities. Bathing, dressing, transferring, toileting, and eating. things we take for granted. Like everybody in here is sipping on something. Can you imagine being thirsty and you cannot even pick up your own cup to take a drink of water? You depending on somebody else to bring you water when you're thirsty? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine depending on somebody to bring you something to drink because you're thirsty? And the person that you are depending on should have never been hired. The screening process was not thorough enough because that person is not making sure you're hydrated. I was listening to y'all earlier talking about these jobs and how y'all don't care. I was listening. And when I pay attention, because I tell people oftentimes we don't work in factories. Y'all have factory jobs. You cannot have that mind frame working in healthcare because people depending on you. These are life-saving measures we sometimes have to make or complete. Our task, it defines if this person's going to be hungry. Our task, they depend on me to keep them clean and dry so they don't get the cubitus ulcers. They depend on me to feed them so they don't lose weight. They depend on us to turn them so they don't get the cubitus ulcers. So when I hear you saying you ain't care nothing about that job or this and that, it's CNAs to have that mind frame. Mentally. Yes, ma'am.
So I got a family member that worked, I ain't gonna say what hospital. Well,
Okay.
I'm gonna say the VA.
Okay.
And she was telling me how it was this one CNA there. The man had asked for a cup of coffee, and she told him no. So she said like a day later, somebody from the White House called him and said that it was reported that one of the nurses had told one of the people that she wasn't gonna fix him any coffee. The man had called the White House. So it's no telling who, you be taking care of. No telling what kind of tires they got, but
Right.
It was like, wow.
Devastating. Right. Yeah. You got to be careful. Not only that, it could be your mama asking somebody for a cup of coffee and that person feel like, I ain't giving you no coffee. I mean, what is coffee? A cup of coffee. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. Now, residential care. Residential care. These are services that include supervising residents in a safe and in a secure environment. You do have other specialty facilities and care groups. Other specialty care groups. That includes Alzheimer's units, pediatrics unit, traumatic head injury unit, rehab facilities, subacute units, HIV and AIDS units, assisted living, continuing care communities, intermediate care facilities for intellectually disabled people. So, I have it written down on this right here. However, this is how you will see this again. That small book is your will see again book. Anything you put in that small book, you need to study. So I didn't explain the small book, did I? My bad. So the small book is not for all notes. The small book is, these are things you're going to study once you leave here for your state test. If you've been putting, you good because it's chapter 1. This right here should go in your small book. ICF MR. Because you will see this again, and this is how you're going to see it. I want you ladies to put it on. There you go. Are you that blind?
Yeah, me too.
Y'all on the front row and still can't see this? Ooh, yes. You squinting?
I try not to.
Use a Lord, use her.
I'm gonna have to come get it.
Ooh. How you gonna come get it? These people gotta see.
When they get done. Come down.
If you do pass it, I'm gonna need that too.
Making the resident.
Good job.
Her recipe? It's on the.
I called it before she could do it. Thank you.
ICF-MR facility. That's a facility for people who have mental retardation, and their facility focuses, well, they live there, and it focuses on making them as independent as possible, because you want to always promote independence, okay? So why are people admitted into long-term care facilities? Multiple reasons, special, unique reasons. Home is too large. Ladies, as we're going, I'll tell you what you need to write down. You can take as many notes as you want in your regular notes. Your small book, I'm going to tell you when you need to put some in your small book. Home's too large. Children moved away. Stairs. Health conditions that need medical support. ADL support. Security. Friendships. Independence. Now, residents in long-term care facilities they have to receive one or more of these types of care in order to be there. Those specific types, they are in your book, are rehabilitation, skilled nursing care, continuous supportive care, respite care, and hospice care. If you have not written down, y'all, I gave y'all one word, and y'all still right.
You had turned it. No, I had seen that three.
Y'all had already wrote that down. You can get it. Now, respite care and hospice care, I want you to write those down too in your small book. If you know what respite and hospice mean, you don't have to write it down. If you can use it in a sentence. If you cannot use respite care or hospice care in a sentence, I want you to write it down.
And what was the only word you said to write in the notebook?
ICF-MR. You wrote it down?
I wrote ICF.
/MR.
But that's in the book, right?
Everything on these cards, yeah, in the book. People, yeah, they don't look in that book, baby. They just want me to show them what they. Respite, hospice, and a significant other also. You're going to see all three of these words again. In the book, you were just writing them out the book. Now you want my card.
It's okay. I thought it was something different.
I'm gonna put it up. I just got it on the camera right now.
Okay.
So y'all can see it tonight when y'all get home. Cause I have it uploaded by then. Yeah, respite care is giving the caregiver a break. People who take care of loved ones at home, they need a break also. It's hard being a caregiver. Respite care gives them the opportunity to maybe go on vacation, to replenish themselves, to clean up or whatever they need. You can get respite for days. Some people get respite in hours, like 8-hour respite. It just depends. Now, hospice is when you have less than 6 to 9 months to live. You will go on hospice, and that is end of life care. When you are death, it's inevitable, and it's expected to be within 6 to 9 months. Okay? Now, significant other you will see again also. That is someone who is not related by traditional means. A husband is traditional. A brother is traditional. Sister, traditional. Aunt, traditional. It has to be someone that means a lot to you by non-traditional means, okay? Questions? None? Okay. So residents over 65 in long-term care facilities will increase from 5.8% of the population in 1999 to an estimated 8.4% in 2050, when 20% of the population will be over 65. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, the number of residents in long-term care facilities will rise to 2.9 million by 2020 and 6.6 by 2050, meaning the amount of elderly people is going to double, and we're not going to have probably anywhere near enough facilities to put these people. And what's even more scary is I'm going to be a part of that number. Now, who provides care in the facilities? Who provides the care? I'm going to keep going, you guys, so if it seems like I'm going too fast, I'm going for the video purposes, and I'm going to come back and break it down for y'all, okay? In the facilities, the interdisciplinary team provides care. The resident is always the most important person on this team. Then you have the family members, the nursing staff, physical therapists, admissions department, activities, the dietitian, the director of nursing, the charge nurse, the medical director, occupational therapist, speech therapist, the social worker, and also the spiritual counselor. So if you look on page, is it 9 where that gold ring is? 7. That gold ring, I want you to put it in your regular notes. On your regular paper, put the gold ring. I want you to write down the interdisciplinary team because that's who take care of the resident, okay? Now, the physical therapists, they assist the residents with walking, ambulation. No, I just want you to write the gold ring now. OT, occupational therapy. They do fine motor skills and ADLs, speech therapists. That person will work with speaking, swallowing, chewing. A lot of times when people have strokes, a lot of people don't realize if you have a stroke and you have right side weakness, not only will the outer be affected, the inner will be affected. So when it comes to swallowing, your swallowing capacity will be compromised because this side is weak also. This Ruthie. Good morning. Yes, ma'am. Can I give you a call back in maybe 10 minutes? Okay. Okay, what's the question?
She was passing it over, but I was telling her that's what she had to write there.
Okay. Open that up. Let me see what's on the inside of it. Okay. You can pass it up to them. Now, how is care paid for? Care is paid for in multiple ways. Medicare, Medicaid, personal resources, managed care, long-term care insurances also. When I say Medicare is short-term insurance. If you're going to be in a facility long-term, they'll do a Medicaid application. Personal resources are savings account. There are a lot of people that pay cash. And then you have people who, just like you guys have Aflac or Colonial Life, they have long-term care insurances also. Now, who oversees long-term care facilities? CMS, which is the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. They provide healthcare services for 74 million U.S. citizens. Now, when it comes to CMS requires that facilities follow government rules and regulations if they receive Medicare or Medicaid funds to receive reimbursement. If you have one resident in your building who gets funding from Medicare or Medicaid, you have to follow their guidelines. If you don't, there are consequences. Consequences can come in the form of a tag or money that's going to be recouped. Okay? CMS do come in your building and do inspections annually. When y'all hear y'all ever heard the saying the state here or the state coming? Mm-hmm. That's who CMS is. CMS is the state. And when they come into your building, this is what they're looking for. They're going to make sure the nursing services that the facility have enough staff to make sure the residents' care is being provided. They're going to make sure the dietary, make sure the residents get nourished, well-balanced meals. They're going to make sure the doctor is writing the correct orders and that the resident remain under the care and that they see them. They're going to make sure routine dental care is being provided. They go through each individual area of the facility and make sure guidelines are being managed, okay? Now, hospitals are governed by JCO, Joint Commission. JCO go in like Baptist and Jackson. They're going to make sure they're following those guidelines also. Do y'all have any questions? Don't look like it.